Today we're going to teach you how to cook in a wood oven when you don't know the temperature or gauges or electrics. There's nothing here but a box, some fire inside the box. How do you deal with that? I'll show you. First, what you got to do is you put your firewood in. It's got to be going pretty good though before you get your cake mix going. When you're 100% sure that your fire's been going for a good 30 minutes, maybe an hour, then you know your stove is ready. You'll want to keep that door closed to the stove. So while that's all happening, I would recommend strongly for you to close your door on your fire and go ahead and let it keep getting warm. And as it gets warm, it'll heat the oven up, and then we'll get to the part where you eventually cook in that little setup there. Next, you'll start your cake mix, which we've already done. We've mixed our eggs and water and battered it up. We've greased with olive oil a 13 by 9 pan. We poured our cake batter in. I'm going to let it sit here for about 10 more minutes to rise a little bit. And because I've had my stove going for an hour now, it's going to be all right. We're going to be able to use that oven soon. I'll pause it, and in just a little bit here, we'll stick the cake in that oven, and we will go ahead and start the process. But first, since I'm down here to mind the oven, I'll go ahead and open the door. You get more heat with the door open than you do with the door closed. That door's got to be open. And if smoke's coming out, don't open it. Wait until the smoke stops. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to give it about 30 more minutes, and then I'm going to start that cake. While you're waiting for your wood burning oven to heat up, you could, as my wife's doing here, make some other pastry or concoction. In this cake, she's going to make me some fresh tortillas. Ah yes, we'll cook those downstairs too on the wood oven. Show you that in a minute. Well, it's about, I'd say about 30 minutes. Let's go down and see how the fire's doing. Okay. Well, fire's getting a little better. If it isn't going really, really good, you don't want to put it in yet. So, like I said, the minimal you want to put your cake in an oven is after the fire's been going a good hour. We'll wait just a few more minutes, and I'm sure it'll really get going here pretty soon. In the meantime, the cake is rising pretty good. Don't worry about how long this sits out. It's not going to hurt the cake to sit here for a while. It won't actually start cooking until you put it in the oven. So no worries on how long your cake sits out. Just no more than 40 minutes, huh? Alright, let's go back to the oven. We're getting close. Real close to time. And we're going to stick this cake in a matter of seconds. Alright, now that it's going really good, we're going to close the door. And exactly at this point, you're going to want to wait 15 minutes. Why? Because the door closed offers more heat than a door open. But you wanted that door open because you wanted the oxygen to get that wood going really good. So let's wait 15 more minutes and we're going to stick the cake in. It's doing really good. In the meantime, since we have 15 minutes to burn, I thought I'd come up and see how the tortillas are doing. They're looking pretty good.
About ready to get them out and start kneading.
Okay, start kneading them after this. A little flour, little water, little salt, little butter. That's it, huh?
Yep.
All right, that's very cool. I'm sure people will be interested in not knowing this.
2% ingredients, 80% know-how. I'm not the expert. John's mom is.
Yep, we'll show you this when it's starting to look like dough. In the meantime, let's go back down. Let's throw that cake in the oven. Look at that glow. You can see from that glow down there that the fire's going really good. So it's time. Grab the cake mix. Open your oven. Stick it in. Oh. There we go. It's in now. Close the oven door. There we go. Alright. Here's what we time 45 minutes. We're going to run upstairs and hit 45 minutes on the timer. It'll only take me a minute to get upstairs, so hold on. Okay. Let's see here now. 45 minutes. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Now, if you want to, you can do it that way. Or you have a stopwatch, or look at the time on your hands. And in our case, 5:10 p.m. So we'll see what happens. We're going down in 45 and we'll look at that cake then. Well, we have 45 minutes to blow. Well, that's all right. I'll show you how to make tortillas. So this is the kneading part. You take the dough and you knead it. Because after all, we need tortillas. We're not funny. Okay. And in a few seconds here, we'll show you what they look like when we start apportioning them. We are getting very close to making these into individual tortillas. That's it. We are done. Now what? We roll them out.
19. Okay.
And the flour is just to help roll them out better, right?
Yes. I'm doing it. I usually do them right on the counter, but I'm taking this board with me down to the stove.
Okay. We'll hold it for a minute. It's getting really close. You're probably tempted to open that oven and see if it's almost done. Don't do it. Don't do it. Instead, you soak tortilla pan, put it on top of the burner there. Work on some tortillas instead. As you see here, my wife's got the tortillas going, and she's about ready to throw one on the hot stove. Now, my advice to you is let that pan sit on there for a few minutes before you put your tortillas in there, because otherwise they'll stick. But, here comes the first tortilla. Roll them out nice and rolly and fluffy. Well, and when you think it's time to put them in the pan, it's time. Okay, first one going in. Okay. We'll show you how the right color and what to look for here in a second. Okay, you can see it's starting to rise a little bit and it's making little bubbles in there. That's almost the time you'll want to flip it. Let's check it and see. It's a little brown. I'll flip it. Okay, so it's a little white, but ultimately you really want it to be brown. So let's not do the other side yet. Let's continue. It'll get there. Be patient. Okay, let's check it again. That's much better. You see the brown? And that's what you want. You want it to be light brown. And it is your first tortilla, so it'll be a little whiter than the rest. But that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. In the meantime, our cake is smelling really good. I can smell it in there, but you're probably tempted to look at it. Don't open that door. Not for 35 minutes. And it hasn't been very long. All right, tortilla time. Looking good. Just a few more minutes here and that one will be done. Okay, I got the door open again. Why? Well, I want to make sure it's warm in there. And then that way, not only does the cake get done, we'll actually start to cook tortillas. You might think to yourself, but John, the box says only 18 minutes for cake mix. Yeah, this is a wooden oven. And a wooden oven is way different. This is a sealed compartment, completely different from what's in here. So you got to heat the outside of this compartment up in order to get the cake inside hot. That's the difference between a wood stove and an oven. Wood stove, the heat comes from the compartment next to it, and that heats the wall, which makes the cake cook. Whereas an oven, well, that's a direct heat source inside the oven. But don't open it. Don't open it for your 35 minutes. Now, if it's really prolific and you start to smell cake galore, I mean, it is just filling the room with smell, there'd be nothing wrong with you going ahead and opening the door and trying to look. But I wouldn't recommend it until at least the cake's been in there for 30 minutes. But you want to hold it till 45 minutes. How much of that 45 minutes do we have left? Well, I put this timer on down here. We have 21 more minutes to wait. In the meantime, we're cooking tortillas. All right. Almost done, guys. Patience, and we'll show you a beautiful cake out of a wood oven. Okay, first one's done. Don't look very good, but that's all right. It's your first one. We got a second one going here. Notice the bubbles already. That's a good indicator. It's close to time to turn it over. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. Let's see what happens. Arrgh. Oh, look at that. Perfect. We better get it out right away. Hold on a minute and I'll get it out. Okay, here it is. It's done. Now, you're going to say, oh, wait a minute. That's pretty black on one side. Well, looks like you learned a lesson. What's that lesson? That's cooking in a wood oven. You know what you do with this? Now you need to frost it, wait for it to cool, frost it, and then there you go, you got your cake. All right, well there we are, we're cooking your cake in a wood oven. It is done all the way through. It's done very well too. Very, very well. And I can tell you this, it's not burnt at all. It looks burnt from the top, but that's not burnt all the way through. It's very soft right underneath. So that's an oven. So no worries if this happens to you. Get yourself a little butter, put it on that, rub it off, rub the melted butter off of it, and that'll take some of the burnt taste off it. I like it that way. I'm gonna eat this half of it. This is my half right here. I want that with the frosting. But anyway, there's you are, cooking in a wood oven. And then, of course, our tortillas have turned out really well. We got a nice big stack already. And there's one that's bubbled already. You got to keep popping the bubbles and turning it over. And when you have that nice golden brown look, on both sides you put them there. And they look really good. See how wonderful that looks? And that's tortillas. So there's cooking on a wood oven for you. I'm going to leave the oven door open now so it puts heat in the house. But you got a power outage, you have no power. You don't have to worry about eating. You got a wood oven, you can cook your food, heat your house, everything's fine. All right, friends, thanks for watching this channel and take care. And we'll talk later. Bye-bye.